Man and machine are launched skyward by ocean waves, near where man has been launched into space. The giants of offshore racing will battle in the Atlantic as the offshore Pro Tour fleet takes to the seas off of Florida's Space Coast.
The fleet will start in the shadow of the Kennedy Space Center along Cape Canaveral. Heading south, the boats will pass the Coca Beach pier and race close along the beach, providing spectators with a magnificent view of the action. After an 8-mile run south, the fleet makes the turn at checkpoints 2 and 3, just off of Patrick Air Force Base. Then it's north for the 8-mile leg to complete an 18-mile lap. Each class must make a predetermined number of laps to complete today's race. 8 laps, 144 miles for Superboat and Open class. 6 laps, 108 miles for Pro 1 and Pro 2.
A course of simple configuration, but diminishing that simplicity, the elements, the wind creating true offshore powerboat racing conditions here today, and a record-breaking Beach Fest crowd on the shore.
But you at home watching television will have a great view. Cameras on the shore, cameras in the air, and onboard cameras, 5 of them, count them, on 3 of our competitors. Every rock, every roll, you'll be able to experience.
The fleet is moving out now, the parade of boats passing through Port Canaveral, the 3rd largest in the nation. The fans getting a good look at these racing boats from the cruise ships as well, those giant ocean liners in contrast to the sleek racing machines.
Earlier this week, a group of these highly competitive racers joined together for a tour of Spaceport USA at NASA's Kennedy Space Center. Walking in the Rocket Garden, team members from Little Caesars, Excalibur, AES Motorsports, Bud Dry, and Circus were awestruck at the size of these machines, which have traveled to the stars and back. Using the many components of space technology in offshore racing gives the racers an identifiable link with these astronauts, and all hope that on race day they will be as successful as our space program has been.
An impressive crowd waits on the beaches now for the start of the Superboat race. Let's check the lineup, Jim.
Dan Campbell has Randy Garcia at the wheel in the Campbell Racing for this particular race. Bud Dry, August Bush IV, and Jeff Sulfur teaming up. It'll be the veteran team of Tom Gentry and John Connor in the Gentry Eagle. Barry Roth, Mike Cousineau in the boat Insatiable. And the Pink Lady Circus, Stephen Dorsich and John Bruno.
Next in our lineup, Powerboat Marine with Russell Wilkett and Jim Dyke. Then we've got the Spirit of the Amazon coming off the first win of the season with Ike Batista and the veteran Bobby Moore. Little Caesars Pizza, Peter Markey and Trey's Martin. From the V-Bottom to the Jaguar Marine, Jack Clark and John Trevisano. In Excess, his first race of the season, John Garrett is back with Ralph Martin.
And look at the water, the lead of Pace Boat taking those boats out. Oh, they've got their work cut out for them today. Those rollers are really 4 to 6 feet in places.
Here we go with the start right there at the point is In Excess. He had a great start in the season last year. He is at the point in his first race of this season.
We're on board Spirit of the Amazon. Taking a look at the driver, Ike Batista. Let's listen into the conversation of the crew.
Go to your left a little, Ike. No, you can't. I know. Don't watch.
Don't watch? Somebody better watch. There's a lot of traffic out there.
Ike Batista at the wheel of the Spirit of Amazon, moving in on In Excess now in second place. Campbell Racing also in the tough of it. And Tom Gentry, he proved he had the power in that last race. Can he last, though, Jim?
I think so. He's a wily veteran. And look, surprise, surprise, guess who's back?
Our early leader, In Excess, John Garrett, and he's pushing it on. There's Ike Batista and Bobby Moore up on the right side now in a tremendous battle here in the first lap for 1 and 2 in the Superboat competition. Rough water conditions.
Now, watch out. We've got the Deep V barely out in front of this catamaran. Spirit of the Amazon, who won it all last year. Look at him launch off of that wave. That great, big 50-foot boat just became airborne.
These are perfect racing conditions for the offshore tour.
That hoo-hoo was Ike Batista. He's having a ball. Loves it. And right now he's challenging for first place.
Neck and neck, Jim. Bow eye to bow eye. What a shot right now. The catamaran versus the V-Bottom in very rough conditions.
We're about halfway down this straight chute now as the two boats battle for first place, but looks like they're slowing down and want to turn, and according to my charts, this isn't where you turn.
Confusion in the cockpit now. The Spirit of the Amazon following In Excess.
Do we pass last one already back there?
Yeah, go.
Okay. Gentry, for sure?
Yeah, go, Bobby.
Keep an eye on him, Randy. Let's don't make a
Now,
mistake.
that's turn one. That's buoy one there.
We got to go that way.
That's buoy one. This ain't the turn.
No, go down further, Hanky. Go down.
Spirit of the Amazon.
No, that ain't the turn. That's buoy one.
There you go.
That's halfway. That's halfway there.
Yeah.
Figuring out the confusion now as they were following In Excess. In Excess now has discovered no one's following them. They're way off course, Jim.
Oh, this is going to give the advantage to Tom Gentry, and there he is. He's taken over first place on the confusion of the first and second place boat. Tom Gentry's on course and in the lead at this point.
Gentry posting an impressive speed early in this race as he looks back to see where the competition's going to come from. So it is Gentry. Spirit of the Amazon correcting very quickly, is also averaging better than 70 miles an hour on this first lap. Amazing. And Little Caesar's Pizza currently in third after the first lap. Art Ekman and Jim Hendrick, welcome back to the Space Coast Offshore Challenge. As the superboats are out on the water competing right now, Jim, let's turn to the open class starting lineup.
It's Dirty Laundry, Joe Mock, Harold Smitty Smith in the US 1. Excalibur Hotel Casino, Bob Kaiser and Errol Lanier teaming up. Hugo Colombo and Mandy Fernandez in the Ferrari collection. Mean Streak with Robert Gallo and Bob Cicenti.
Next in the lineup, 21st Airborne with Rocky Summerall and Blair Blesto. And after a fine performance in Marathon, AES Motorsports with Alan Shapiro teaming with Joey Impressia, Ali Veet, Bill Aylesworth, and Pete Rhodes. And rounding out the field, Ohio Steel with John Revan and Charlie Hogan.
And the Atlantic Ocean continues to kick up. It'll be a challenge as the Haste boat cuts in front of the fleet, and they come very close to shore, near the spectators for the start.
This is exciting. The open class, always one of the most competitive classes now, getting up to speed, getting up to plane, getting ready for the green flag and the start of their classification.
Oh, there is nothing more beautiful in motorsports than a start of powerboat racing on the waters. And look at this beautiful shot.
From top to bottom, AES Motorsport, Ali Veet, Ferrari Collection, Dirty Laundry, and number 7 right there closest to us, Excalibur. What an amazing start for the open class.
There's no prettier start in motorsports. And look at the inside of the cockpit of Dirty Laundry with our onboard camera riding with Joe Mott, and he's going to give battle. A lighter boat is out in front.
35-foot Jaguar Ferrari Collection with 2 800-horsepower Mercury engines. Hugo Colombo on that one, and Manny Fernandez, as you see Joe Mott trying to catch that lighter cat. Ferrari Collection, winner of the open class at Marathon, the first race of the season. He is out in front once again.
And they're still bunched up at the start with Ferrari Collection with a slight lead over Dirty Laundry. But look at Bobby Kaiser come on in Excalibur.
Jim, with Special Edition never getting off the trailer at this race, Ferrari is the smallest craft in this division. And Manny Fernandez told me earlier that he just wants to stay high in the points. I don't know if we can compete with the bumpy conditions, but we don't want to let him get too far away, but he's pressing the action right now.
Boy, and we have action here at Cocoa Beach, race number 2 of the OPT Offshore Tour.
Last year's national and world champion in the red boat out in front now, taking a slight lead, is Dirty Laundry over Ferrari. But look at Bob Kaiser and Errol Lanier right there in Excalibur. Okay, the start time now for the Pro 1 and Pro 2. Talk about a wild ride with these smaller boats in these conditions, Jim.
Hang on. If those big boats are getting a rough ride, what are these guys going to do? First defense, Mike Novick out in front of P555, P99, Skater Express right on his hip.
Tough Enough and Agitator also making a great first lap battle of it. Here's the Superboat competition once again. Spirit of the Amazon and Tom Gentry battling it out right now. Bobby Moore of Spirit of the Amazon saying we're trying to improve technically every race. We want more responsive engines for this one and better handling. Let's go up to Rich Lures now in the chopper.
As you can see, as we head northbound, the Spirit of the Amazon is handling these seas beautifully, while the Gentry boat is struggling a bit, rocking from side to side, pulling its drives out of the water. There are very different trim systems in these boats. One has 4 conventional drives, while the Gentry boat has a straight inboard alignment. The Gentry boat has less trim capability and will have less ability to modify his riding attitude as the race progresses.
The drives caused problems for Gentry in the season's opener at Marathon, but they beefed up the rigging built around the drives to withstand the beating they encounter in these rough seas.
When we come back, we'll find out just how physically fit these racers have to be.
Come back as the Giants continue to pound the sea and battle it out in the Superboat class. Gentry, number 1, and Spirit of the Amazon, number 2 in the Superboat class. Now, while these machines must be up to the test, the men in the cockpit also must be ready to answer. Back into the cockpit now, the Spirit of the Amazon.
Oh, the engine's okay?
Yeah. Yeah, everything looks real good.
Spirit of the Amazon riding in second place. Ike Batista, Bobby Moore and crew taking a pounding, but they look like they're riding pretty good. Meanwhile, our lead boat, the Gentry Turbo Eagle with Tom Gentry and John Connor, they're getting a pounding. Oh, listen to the sound of that hull hitting the water.
One and two right there. Gentry out in front. Spirit of the Amazon, and it looks like they might be straying a bit.
It seems to me when they made that turn, after they left the shoreline, they took a real wide course. We'll have to wait and see. Here's Little Caesar's Pizza, Pete Markey, currently running in third place.
They had their problems, but they held on long enough for third place in Marathon as well, in excess. His first race of the season.
He's fourth, and look at the sign. We're back, it says, on the stern of that boat.
Circus, a vast improvement. They survived one slow lap in the opener at Marathon. They're competing big time right now.
In sixth place, it is Power Boat Marine. Russell Wilkin and Jim Dyke going for a ride. Not riding too badly, considering the seas here on the Atlantic Ocean today.
Next, it's Insatiable, Barry Roth and Mike Cousineau, and they re-rigged this boat after Marathon's race last year, spent 6-day weeks, 12 hours a day to get everything back together.
John Provenzano and Jack Clark's Jaguar Marine, currently eighth, getting his first Superboat ride today, and what a baptism of fire on this rough course.
And looking for a good, consistent run today, and it looks like they're competing much better. Bud Dry. Their driver, August Bush IV. Jim, for a young racer, August Bush IV is truly displaying the grit and determination it takes to win in offshore racing.
Look at this battle as we check the leaders in open class 240-footers going side by side.
And it was interesting to note, I think, that AES Motorsports' Alan Shapiro said, I want to come into this race and run fairly conservative, not go for the lead, but be with the pack. Well, it's more than that now.
Our onboard camera shows to the left, Joe Mock, to the right, the throttle man, Harold Smitty Smith from Miami. Look at him battle that wheel, Art.
Two big 40-footers. You know, Joe Mock hoped to take advantage of his boat's size and weight today. No problem, except for the competition, that is. AES Motorsports. They think they've solved their overheating problems from the past with some new water pickups installed. Joey Imprescia and Alan Shapiro.
And once again, AES Motorsports pulling up side by side the Dirty Laundry. Great speeds in this water as we look at our third place boat, Ollie Veet with Bill Ellsworth and Pete Rhodes doing battle.
An impressive performance for Ollie Veet after dropping out of action after 2 laps at Marathon.
And the winner at Marathon, the Ferrari Collection, is now being challenged by the 41st Airborne, and they're going to take over for 4th place.
Not the best of conditions for Ferrari right now. Bob Kaiser, Errol Lanier, they're concerned, I can tell. They've got problems. Look how low in the water. They might be down an engine right now. And we've got more navigational problems, it looks like, for the Superboat leaders.
What seemed to be a simple oval course with one big wide turn and getting trapped outside the spectator fleet has turned into the second problem of navigation today.
While losing valuable time going through the spectator fleet, the relative position should be similar when they come out and start racing and get back up to plane once again.
Already through its slow bell and back up to speed, the leader is the Gentry Eagle with Tom Gentry and John Connor. Leading in Superboat class. Let's take a look at our leaderboards as we near the midway point of the race. Gentry Eagle, 74.5 average speed, and in open class, the leader, Dirty Laundry, at 75 points.
While we were away, they stuffed the Ferrari Collection. It actually went underwater and then popped back up, tearing the engine hatches off. Both Mandy Fernandez and Hugo Colombo all right.
I find this hard to believe, but as we look at our Superboat leader, the Gentry Turbo Eagle, they've made the turn in the south end. They're now going north, but they made it wide once again. I believe they are off course. We're looking inside the cockpit. Tom Gentry bouncing around, holding onto the steering wheel, but I think he's gone way wide again, and this could cost him.
And still, he's averaging 76.7 miles an hour. Tremendous power. Looking for their second consecutive win, Spirit of the Amazon, Ike Batista spearheading an effort to put OPT on the international scene, and he puts his money where his mouth is. In getting back to the racing, Ike Batista's Spirit of the Amazon has taken over the Superboat lead. He did not follow Gentry, who went wide off course. So Gentry now in second place, Spirit of the Amazon first. Here was the battle for third, Jeff.
And they're moving up through the Pro 2 traffic very carefully in excess. The bottom of your screen, battling the Circus, the Pink Lady, for third place. And this is a deep V versus a catamaran, folks, at this point of the race as they head south down the shoreline.
An interesting shot, Jim, as you can see the traditional deep V in excess versus the very non-traditional 40-foot, two-engine Superboat Circus. In excess has taken over third place in the Superboat classification. John Garrett comes into the season excited after being frustrated, mad, broken-hearted, disappointed last year, losing a 300-point lead and the championship.
1,200 horsepower per motor, 9,000 pounds full of fuel and race ready, this beautiful Circus. Hard like a mild-mannered Clark Kent, but boy, he turns into a monster when he gets into the wheel of this beautiful Circus.
Little Caesar's Pizza having their turbo problems. They've been fighting this problem all day long, even before the race. Trace Martin working long hours to reset the computers, trying to change the fuel mix to make the power on the bottom end. But they're certainly having their problems now.
Powerboat Marine bouncing through this north turn, boy. That slop is not getting any better as we look at Insatiable. The starboard hatch came off the last lap, and the port side hatch has just flopped over. They may lose that part of the boat, too.
They haven't had a lot of testing time with this boat, and they wanted to just run a safe speed. They said they can't learn without racing, and they're getting the racing in. Dirty Laundry leading the open class right now, as we've had a sensational race in the open class. In fact, 6 boats over 70 miles an hour in the first lap, and it still has not given in.
They're easing their way through the north turn now with the Dirty Laundry with a slight edge over AES Motorsports.
At about 80 miles an hour, it's difficult to tell, but the boats are fighting a condition known as beam C. They're close to the beach, so the waves are hitting the sides as they cut through the water. Alivite looking very strong right now. They've placed in the top three of the last 4 races. Battle for third, and with Mean Streak at Marathon when a water hose broke, spraying all over the distributor. Here's Mean Streak, Jim.
Yes, Bobby Cicenti, really, the veteran throttle man has his hands full. Watch him work the throttles. That prop comes out of the water, gets back off. Here's Pro 1. Action right now. It is Skater Express. Joe Jacobson from St. Louis in the lead with Fred Crane from Harrison Township, Michigan. They're getting quite a ride in Pro 1.
Right behind them, Tough Enough in second place, the husband-wife team from Canada of Mark and Dana Weigel. Agitator is right there at third. Agitator winning a terrific three-way battle for the checkered flag at Marathon in the last race as we go back to the Superboat competition.
Let's go upstairs to Rich Lurs.
The early race strategy right now is the Spirit of the Amazon passes under us and Gentry comes right behind. Obviously, as Gentry wants to finish, he's keeping the Spirit of the Amazon in sight. He knows he's got top speed, but he wasn't going to use it too early in the race. Smart move by the KG veteran from Hawaii.
Gentry really doing quite a job, Jim, in getting back into this race after navigational problems. Here's Spirit of the Amazon looking powerful.
Let's look at our leaderboard in the 2 classes Superboats, led by Amazon at 85.9 mile an hour average. AES is now in first place in the open class.
Back to racing action, and what a battle going on here between Agitator and Tough Enough. Agitator, the veteran father and son team of Alan and Kirk Dunneman from Oak Brook, Illinois, and Dana Mark Weigel. Of course, they came in 8th at Marathon behind the winner, Agitator, in Tough Enough. But they're battling for the lead right now. Husband and wife versus father and son, inboard versus outboard, veteran versus newcomer.
And a family affair in Pro 1 as they battle for first place. An equally exciting battle going on for third place. On the left of your screen, First Defense, Mike Novick, John Carbona. On the top of your screen, Rick Filson and John Engel.
What a ride!
It is, oh, he comes off of that, low! He come off of that wave and did a dipsy-doodle and land on his left side. He's very lucky he didn't go over.
In the Pro 2, Matter Racing, a force to be reckoned with right now, Fred Green and Scott Duvall from Indiana. Great Adventure, former national champion, S1.
And the Gazelle brothers doing very well today here in rough water.
That's a brand new 31-foot boat with an additional 600 horsepower this year.
Oh, the launching of the Can't Touch This. Bill Murray and Lee Murray. Look at those guys boss run. These boats look like little gnats against this great big sea. The smallest racers here today, and they're really got big hearts. They're battling it all the way.
And the battle for fourth, Conch-Attack and Archer Marine as we go back now to the open class and our leader, AES Motorsports. Well, they certainly showed they had the speed and the experience to run fast in the first race of the season at Marathon, taking a second, but they just couldn't quite catch the smaller and lighter Ferrari collection.
Olive running second, Bill Ellsworth and Pete Rhodes, and they're launching off those waves, blasting up toward the sky. What a rough ride.
Olive, they were hoping this would be the right craft for today's conditions, and they're putting in a very consistent run.
No canopy on Olive. These three guys just up there breathing fresh air as we look at Dirty Laundry in third place, and they don't know. I don't know if that's strategy right now or if they're having a problem. Uncharacteristically, they're in the back of the pack in third place as they go by the superboat Bud Dry. Speaking of superboats, here is our leader, the Amazon. Ike Batista and Bobby Moore.
Boy, they've really put it down now. No navigational problems, better than 88 miles per hour. Their average speed just seems to increase and increase. Circus. And look at this. A moment in OPT trivia history. The two new 40-footers sandwiching the 50-footer and both passing. Powerboat Marine has already passed Gentry. And here comes Circus. Is this a new era, Jim?
Or is it a problem for the Gentry Turbo Eagle team? Are they running in all cylinders? We don't know. But at any rate, it's exciting racing. And the Gentry Turbo Eagle will now drop back to fourth as the two 40-footers go by. Both hatches are off the Insatiable, and there's another problem, Art. Do I see a crack?
Yes, right near the coolant water coming out of the exhaust port there is a crack, a definite crack. Medical and safety teams have been notified. They're moving in. They'll have to try the best they can to black flag them for their own safety. That boat could break in two. Welcome back to the Space Coast Offshore Challenge. We've got a full-speed, throttle wide open battle between Dirty Laundry and Olive. Dirty Laundry now trying to cut to the inside and cut through the wake. Oh, he has to adjust now. He's actually lost time and lost room.
Can you believe that? He tried to cut inside and got wet by the rooster tail, now has to get back on course.
Olive is harnessing it well. They started a string back at Grand Haven and Marathon at Key West, finishing in the top three in all of those ending races last year. And they're leading right now in the open class. The team from Glen Ellen, Illinois, Bill Ellsworth and Pete Rose. And here's Dirty Laundry, Joe Mock out of St. Louis and Smitty Smith from Miami. They're looking tough. They want to get right back into this thing after not doing as well as they expected in the first race of the season.
Well, they're still to be counted on here. Looking at Pro 1, here's the agitator, Alan and Kirk Dunneman, father and son team leading in the Pro 1.
And they always finish strong. At least they did at Marathon the first race of the season with a phenomenal last lap to take over that final lead. Skater Express.
Joe Jacobson and Red Crane in second place. Here's Fred Green and Scott Duvall from Indiana. Central Division Class B champs last year and second in Marathon. Looking well in Pro 2 as the leaders. There, of course, will always get the challenge from these guys, the Gazelle brothers, in Great Adventure.
National champions last year, coming off a subpar performance in the first race of the season.
Here's our leader in Superboat. And if winning in offshore racing is survival of the fittest, then the Spirit of the Amazon is king of the jungle.
Okay, Circus, and a great battle now with Powerboat Marine for second place. Two catamarans putting on a great performance. You know, Circus is running with electronic fuel injection with their turbochargers. It eliminates the turbo lag. It gives them more precise metering of fuel, and it also, Jim, gives them 500 to 600 more horsepower. What a battle we've got.
We have a hatch problem on the Powerboat Marine. Hatch is coming loose as the Circus now starts to inch forward.
Getting jarred in that wake with a hatch flying could create some aerodynamic problems as far as drag is concerned. Here's Spirit of the Amazon, our leader. The superboat finish, and it's Spirit of the Amazon dominating out in front with a tremendous speed of 82.82 miles an hour for this very rough conditioned race. Spirit of the Amazon winning their second consecutive race of the two-race season so far. Powerboat Marine second, and Circus getting into the competitive ranks during this event.
And now, a sprint to the finish as Joe Mock and Smitty Smith have come on from third place. They're challenging Ale Vite, who has led most of the way. Ale Vite gets bent way out of shape, another few feet, and it's going to be a victory for the first time in 1990 for the Dirty Laundry team. The champions of last year did not fare that well in the first race in Marathon, but they've made up for it today. They've had the battle, 144 miles, 8 laps to come down to this, just a 3-second victory.
And our watch tells us he really put the throttle all the way down, 81.4 miles an hour on the final lap. I don't know if he was saving it for that stretch run or not, but he sure blistered the sea. His average speed, 77.33. Ale Vite second, and AES Motorsports with a very impressive third here today.
With back-to-back victories, Agitator leads in OPT point standings for Pro 1.
Before what officials tell us is the all-time biggest crowd on the beach for Beach Fest in this 91 season. Dirty Laundry, a hard-fought victory, picking up the checkered flag. This has been a production of IPI Sports in association with ESPN.